H3H3 Productions has been suspended from YouTube, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel bad for the guy. Should you really feel bad when your enemies make up stupid rules and then those rules come back to boomerang against them? What's up, guys? VinceDao here. Be sure to like and subscribe. So, Ethan Klein, aka H3H3 Productions. Most of you guys probably haven't heard about him since middle school, but in short, he used to be this kinda edgy, kinda funny comedy YouTuber. Now he's an incredibly unfunny and pretentious SJW. Doesn't that feel like most comedians nowadays, quote unquote? Fun fact, him and Hassan Piker tried to attack our buddy Blake from the KGB show. Guess why? Because Blake said that being addicted to porn wasn't good for you. That should tell you a lot. Anyways, H3 has recently been under fire for making a no-no joke about Ben Shapiro. We're going to react to it in a second, but first, I want to plug our merch shop really quickly. Folks, I venture to say, I think we have some of the best merch designs in the whole conservative movement. Right now, I am wearing everyone's favorite, the Science Denier hoodie, but we got quite a few. Show your support for Trump with the Great MAGA King. Holler your Southern pride with the Holy Republic of Dixie. Help us free Richard Nixon and see a lot more. I'm sure all of the H3 fans watching this video right now just love the merch. It's all at www.thevincedao.com. Our designs basically come in every which way. We got t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, stickers, posters, all of these things. Truly, when it comes to merch designs, diversity of merchandise is our strength. Many would say this. Again, www.thevincedao.com, link in the description. Okay, let's take a look at what Ethan Klein said about Ben Shapiro, shall we?
I was just going to say, if there's another Holocaust, if they start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben gets gassed first.
So look, I'll tell you what I think personally first and then politically. Because I'm definitely not here to like concern troll about it. Like, oh my gosh, this is so disgusting. I can't believe he said this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I was in middle school once. I probably said far worse things than that in 7th grade. Now, keep in mind, I was like in 7th grade. He's like 30-something years old, but, you know. Actually, I should not have said that. Now all these liberal journalists are going to try to go back, try to find things I said in 7th grade. Listen, I don't care. I was a kid once. I will own that. But with that said, right, I don't see Ben Shapiro as a complete victim in all this, right? And watching his response, I don't think he thinks that either. But at the same time, it's just not something that you say, right? It's not a classy thing to say. I wouldn't say it because it's not a Christ-like thing to say. And on top of that, it wasn't even funny. Okay? And again, that's not me being like, hey man, that's not cool, bro. That's not funny, bro. But like literally, it just wasn't even funny. Now, if you wanted to make it funny, never mind. Okay, point being, not funny, not classy. You definitely don't wish death upon people and their families. That's just not something that decent, civilized people do, right? Now, here's the thing. Ethan Klein got 1 strike from YouTube for this, and he's banned from the platform for 1 week. A lot of you probably look at this and think, wow, for once, YouTube is enforcing its rules equally. But no, it's not. You know why? What would happen if a right-winger said that? Or even said something far less out there about a liberal Jew or really any Jew? They would not get a 1-week suspension. They'd get kicked off the platform forever. That's what would happen. And not only that, they would get their whole lives ruined by the ADL or some other activist group. They would never be able to find a job ever again. Ethan Klein, on the other hand, does not face permanent deplatforming and life ruination. He just gets the bare minimum. Slap on the wrist, that's it. He's literally getting preferential treatment from YouTube, all things considered, and yet he claims to be the victim here? Now, in my ideal YouTube, would any of this happen? No, I think that tasteless, classless remarks, even against religious and ethnic minorities, are within the confines of speech. And I do think that society in general is overly sensitive as a whole about offensive humor. 7th grade Vince would agree. But according to the current YouTube TOS, what he said is a pretty obvious violation of the hate speech and harassment policies. Like, that's indisputable. You can't tell a guy that you hope his gets gassed in Holocaust Part 2. I don't know. Maybe we're a little more conscious about this because we're conservatives. We have to deal with it. But, like, everyone knows that's not something you can say on YouTube. Now, before conservatives see this as an opportunity to take a principled stand for free speech, ask yourself this question. What would Ethan Klein say if you got banned? He would celebrate it. This is the same clown who took down his interview with Jordan Peterson and said, quote, "Years ago, I interviewed Jordan Peterson before I was familiar with his politics. He was an interesting guest who I enjoyed sitting with. But especially now, I can see he's a dangerous gateway to alt-right transphobia and COVID misinformation. I removed both today." And you don't think this guy would cheer to see you get deplatformed? Now you might say, maybe that's true, but what about the principle of it? Well, I think part of the principle is that there has to be some degree of a mutual agreement because we don't currently have free speech on big tech. And so there has to be some type of spoken agreement between creators. Hey, we're not going to mass report each other. We're going to stick up for each other. We're going to play the game fair, right? And if you're not going to hold up your end of the deal, I don't think you deserve anyone's sympathy when you get taken down by the same YouTube TOS that you support. If you support the very hate speech guidelines that we are saying that's a violation of free speech, why should we feel sorry for you? Further, I would say that so long as there are going to be these rules on big tech, we should at least ask that they are applied equally and fairly, which they are not, right? Liberals can get away with way more. There's way more scrutiny to take down conservative channels. Conservatives have to be a lot more careful, etc. So in the case that Ethan Klein pretty clearly breaks the rules, and even further, gets lighter consequences for it than we would if we did the exact same thing, really this should be a question of, what did you expect, dude? You know, it's one thing to say something that somewhat borders the lines and YouTube makes a subjective choice to strike you, right? It's another to say something like that, which I think everyone kind of knows is against the rules, and then be absolutely shocked when YouTube says, we're taking that down. And to be totally honest with you, of all the people out there who get censored by big tech, I'm sorry, this is just true. Some liberal podcaster who is against everything that we stand for is the last person I would care about in the situation, you know? Because not only are they not the victim here, he's pretending to be one, he's not, they're also, as a whole, not the ones being systemically targeted by big tech, right? They are not symptoms of the same problem that we are facing. They are also the same people who support the censorship and hate us, so I could care less. I know conservatives think they will get brownie points for sticking up for liberals as a matter of principle, but I have news for you. They still hate you, and it's not going to save you from, you know, facing the problem that they are using against you, right? Anyways, I want to go over some of his response here, okay? So firstly, he says, the people reporting me are tiki torch carrying white Christian nationalists. First of all, I don't really think that's exactly accurate, but even further, who gave you the strike? Who actually hands out the TOS violation? YouTube does. I don't think that what you described is the exact demographic of people who are working at YouTube, okay? Just saying. The guy's just a clown. Anyways, next he says, they are currently the greatest beneficiaries of cancel culture, identity politics, and moral outrage. Yes, you know, all of these things are definitely helping white conservatives in America, as we all know. It's just laughable. It's incredible that they have become the party of free speech while decrying and lobbying for my deplatforming. They both condemn and defend cancel culture in the same breath. That's just a projection. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a projection. He is projecting. I think In fact, the fairly generic right-wing take on this has been pretty coherent. It's like, look, dude, we don't want these rules, but don't expect us to feel bad when you support those rules and then break the rules, right? But, you know, those damn white nationalists at YouTube and Silicon Valley. So true. Meanwhile, conservatives can't really give their real opinions on a lot of different things on this platform in general, right? Edgy comments like that aside, a lot of us are not even allowed to comment our real thoughts on things like LGBT, elections, you know the rest, right, etc. But Ethan Klein is the martyr because he's not allowed to say that he hopes Ben Shapiro gets gassed, and on top of that, only gets a slap on the wrist for it. Come on, dude. Hey, you don't like it, you don't like it, build your own platform, libtard. Okay, anyways, guys, that wraps up this video. Let me know what you think about the whole situation in the comments below. And until next time, Alpha Moves Only, God bless, peace, Ethan Klein. We don't feel bad. Sorry.